So you should have watched part one of the video. If you have not, please make sure you watch that first and then come back to this video. So we are on learning target number 3. I can set up absolute value equations. Now this is from word problems, okay? Take a moment and pause the video and read through the 3 steps of how to write an absolute value equation. Might sound confusing now, but let's get right into it. It says write an equation involving absolute value for the following graphs. Number 1, if you notice the graphs, my solutions are at 11 and 19. Step 1 says find the given minimum and maximum points. We did that. Now number 2, find the midpoint between the numbers. Go ahead, which of the numbers in between is the middle? 15 is the middle. And so number 3 gives you what the equation is going to look like. It says x minus the midpoint. In this case, it's going to be x minus 15. The absolute value of x minus 15 equals the distance from that midpoint, so the distance from 15 to either of the endpoints. And so the distance from 15 to one of these endpoints is 4. So the absolute value of x minus 15 is equal to 4 spaces. So again, think of it as 15 is the middle, and 4 is the number of spaces from the middle to one of the endpoints. And so that's how you set up an equation based on the graph. So try number 2 on your own, and pause the video, and then check your answer in just a little bit. There's your second equation, absolute value equation. X minus 22, which is the middle, is equal to the number of spaces, which is 5. Okay, we're going to actually try to do real life situation word problems. So go ahead, scroll down to the word problems. The first word problem says the temperature of an enclosure for a pet snake should be about 80 degrees Fahrenheit, give or take 5 degrees. Use a number line to find the maximum and minimum temperatures, then write a sentence of your conclusion. So this one actually tells us to specifically use a number line. So I'm actually going to go ahead and fill out the grid here. And it says that the pet snake should be at about 80 degrees. That actually is our midpoint. And it says give or take 5 degrees. So it means this is our maximum and this is our minimum. So that means my two solutions are 75 and 85. So my sentence could be the minimum and maximum temperatures can be 75 degrees or 85 degrees. Okay, so the ice cream one is not using a number line. It says ice cream should be stored at 5 degrees, give or take 3 degrees Fahrenheit. Write and solve an equation to find the maximum and minimum temperatures at which the ice cream should be stored. So they want an equation this time. Okay, so instead of using the number line. Now, this one is very similar to what we did a couple problems before, where you have to use the midpoint and the spaces. Okay, so let's remember what the general equation was. We said it was x minus the midpoint. The absolute value of x minus the midpoint is equal to the distance from the middle to one of the endpoints. Okay, so my midpoint is 5 degrees. Okay, this is my middle. And it says give or take 3 degrees Fahrenheit. So that actually means it could be plus 3 degrees, it could be 3 degrees more than 5, or it could be 3 less than 5 degrees, okay? So if I were to fill this out, I have the absolute value of x minus 5, which is the middle, is equal to 3, which is the distance, right? Because it could either go 3 above or 3 below. and then you solve it, right? That's what the question had asked you to do. So go ahead and branch off here and solve the equation. And so I got x equals 2 and x equals 8. And so those are my minimum and maximum temperatures. And so there you go. So that's the end of the video. Again, if you had any trouble with it, you could pause, rewind. Otherwise, you can go ahead and start practicing.